Hello, good afternoon and welcome to CNBC-TV18. You're watching Your Stocks. I'm Vinny Motiwala coming in live from CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal Studios. Thank you so much for tuning in. And market seems like a good day coming in because market is managing to hold it at 22,900 levels. Flip-flopping between the red and the green as of now is what the Nifty is doing. Yes, off the day's highest point as of now, but nonetheless 22,900 is what it's holding on to. It's recovered from the day's low as well, so do not forget that part. But second half of the trading session is going to be key. Will we be sustaining this level or will we see a fall coming in? That's something to watch out for. Mid and small cap are something that has continued to outperform in today's trading session. Nifty Bank holding on to gains of 0.7% and most of the banking names are doing well in the Nifty 50, especially the private banks. But yes, that's how the market setup is looking like. On that note, we'll get started with the stock-related queries that all have sent us. And to solve all the stock-related doubts, we have Astha Jain, Research Analyst at Securities, as well as Somil Mehta, Head of Alternate Research, Capital Market Strategy at Mirae Asset Sharekhan, joining in with us to solve all those queries. Good afternoon, Astha, as well as Somil, and thank you so much for joining in with us on the show. Let's start with the first query for today. This query is coming in on HAL. We have Sriram, who's writing to us from Chennai. They're holding 90 shares of HAL at a price of around 3,500 rupees per share. Currently, they're making a loss on this one and wants to know if they should actually continue to hold or look to sell this at the current levels. Somil, good afternoon, and let me start with you for this one.
Of course. What I have witnessed here in HAL is that a 5-wave decline is completed. If we get a positive close today, I think that 5-wave decline will be complete. In the very short term, I think the retracement or the bounce, which we say is till 3,530, that will be first hurdle. And the next hurdle would be 3,665. So these are the two hurdles I'm looking for, and the bias will be positive. So I'll be looking for at least 3,500, 3,600 levels in the short term.
Okay, 3,500, 3,600 levels is what you're keeping an eye out on the short term for HAL. Astha, good afternoon, and what are you looking at in terms of HAL, this defense name? Do you think that the run-up that we've seen in the last year for the stocks, was that something that is coming back for HAL?
Hi, good afternoon to both of you. I think this run-up will come, but not in the shorter term or the near term. But in longer term, we are positive on this counter, recommending a hold with a price target of 3,500 to 3,800 in the longer term. Talking about this quarter, the results were good, profitability was in line, and mainly it was due to the high operating leverage as well as the scale this company is enjoying. Also, the most positive point about this company is its order book, because they have seen the order inflow of around rupees 135 billion in this quarter, and now their order backlog stands at around more than trillion, and in trillion now it is standing. So this is giving a strong order pipeline and the revenue visibility for at least coming 3 years. So I think that this counter will perform well, but not in the shorter term. Here the time horizon should be longer term, and in longer term our targets are 3,500 to 3,800. So remain invested in this counter.
Remain invested in this counter. That's the word coming in for HAL. Let's move on to the next query for today. We have Namita Sinha, who's writing to us from Bihar. She's holding 35 shares of Power Grid, and this is at a price of 287 rupees per share. Wants to know the view on the stock and also wants to know should she continue to hold or sell this one. Somil?
Definitely hold. On the weekly charts, I'm expecting a positive close this week. A longer-term trend line has been holding now, and we've got a good bounce from that trend line. Now we are already trading about 20 and 40 hourly moving average, which is a very good sign in the short term. Momentum indicators have given a buy signal. So I think in the very short term, I'm eyeing for at least 275 to 282 levels in the very short term. The stop loss has to be a little stricter. 259 will be the stop loss in the very short term.
Okay, keep an eye out on those levels over there for Power Grid. And Astha, your view on Power Grid, what are we watching out for? Obviously, yesterday also we had seen some news flow that came in about it being a successful bidder in some projects, and we've seen the stock run up as well yesterday. But Power Grid, how are you seeing this for the medium to long term?
Yes, when you are rightly said, now due to these wins, now it has gaining the market share of more than 50% in the new project wins. That is what we are seeing because they are really getting strong order pipeline now. I think this counter is well poised to show some more upside from here. So yes, we are positive on this counter because again the order book backlog for this company is at around 1.9 trillion, I suppose. So it is a very strong order backlog, and on the basis of these order backlog, definitely the revenue visibility always gives a good relief to us. So I think all in all, it is a good long-term story to bet upon. Remain invested in this counter as well. Our price targets are somewhere at around 290 to 305 in the longer term.
Okay, let's move on to the next query then. This one is coming in from Vedant, who's writing to us from Bangalore, holding 125 shares of Kotak Mahindra Bank. This is at a price of 1,750 rupees per share, making profit on this one. Wants to know if one should continue to hold or look to sell this one. Your view on this one, Somil?
A good high top, high bottom formation, momentum indicators on the buy side. I think in the medium term outlook, in the very short term outlook, looks great. However, in the short term, we may see a very sideways correction type of a consolidation here in Kotak Mahindra. But however, keep a strict stop loss around 1930, and you can hold on to the stock for a short term. In the medium term outlook, the stop loss would be a little deeper, which is 1860, and you can hold on to the stock. I'm expecting the stock to make new highs above 2100 levels.
Okay, keep an eye out for the 2100 levels from Kotak Mahindra Bank. And Astha, your view on Kotak Mahindra Bank. Today we have those private banks doing well. But on the fundamentals, do you think Kotak Mahindra Bank is a good bet and the viewer should continue to hold this one?
Yes, I do think because first of all, I think that their diversified portfolio, especially their secured lending as well as SME advances, is really working well for them. In fact, they have gained more from their capital market related subsidiaries also. So their contribution, these subsidiaries are also giving strong contribution in their earnings. So I think all in all, it is a good bank to bet upon on the basis of tight cost control this bank is implementing. In fact, they have got very robust capital adequacy ratio with a very strong and stable margins. So I think this bank is well poised to show more upside from here. 2100 to 2150 are our immediate target for this counter. So in fact, our idea is also to remain invested in this counter. In fact, buy on dip strategy can also be applied to this counter.
Okay. Buy on dip strategy is what Astha is suggesting also for Kotak Mahindra Bank. But on that note, let's move on to the next query. And this is also a private bank again, IndusInd Bank. Now, Manu Verma is writing to us from Kerala, holding 200 shares of IndusInd Bank at a price of 1,326 rupees. So he's clearly bought it at a higher price. Currently, the stock is trading at 1,033. Wants to know the long-term view on this one. Astha, let me take this to you first. Fundamentals for IndusInd Bank, what is your view?
At least for the quarter gone by, they have not posted very strong set of number. The loan was slow. In fact, I think the bank is facing some sort of stress from their MFI loan book as well. So in the longer term, maybe this bank can show some sort of turnaround and post good numbers. So idea here is if one has a horizon of more than 6 months to 9 months, then remain invested in this counter. There is no need to book losses at this juncture. Maybe on the higher levels of around 1120 to 1150 are the better levels to make an exit in this counter if anyone wants to make. But right now, our idea is to hold this counter.
Okay. Your idea is to hold this counter, but Somil, what's your view on IndusInd Bank? Because, you know, after its fall coming in somewhere in October, it had remained in that range between that 900 to 1,000 range, and now seems like it's just seeing an uptick in the last 1 month specifically. So, IndusInd Bank, what are we watching out for in terms of levels?
In the last 1 month, we've seen a very good rally. That consolidation you're talking about, that consolidation has broken on the upside now. And that rally which we've seen in the last 1 month, now it has been retraced by 38%. I'm expecting maximum 50% retracement. So we can keep a very strict stop loss at 985, and I'm very bullish on this stock. I think the next target is 1150, and above 1150 would be 1200 in the short to medium term outlook.
Okay, that's the view coming in on IndusInd Bank from Somil. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. But here's some good news that is coming in for our viewers. India's business news leader is now a click away. Introducing CNBC TV18's all-new app. Get instant access to breaking news, in-depth articles and financial world updates at your fingertips. Download the app, that is a CNBC TV18 app from the Apple Store or the Google Store, or you can just scan the QR code on your screens. Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned into your stocks on CNBC TV18. We still have Astha Jain of Securities as well as Somil Mehta of Mirae Asset Sharekhan to answer all your stock-related doubts. Let's move on to the next query now. This one is on Happiest Minds. We have Jay Ganesh who's writing to us from Bangalore, who's saying that he's holding 927 shares of Happiest Minds at price of 835 rupees per share, making a significant loss on this one. He says that he had bought the shares for the long term but is not too happy with the stock movement and wants to know if he should continue to hold this, sell or sell at the current levels. Astha, what's your view coming in on Happiest Minds? Should they sell the stock and look at some other IT names, anything that is looking exciting there, mid-cap IT side, or continue to hold this?
So I would recommend to exit partially from this counter. So here the quantity is as 927. So I would suggest that in 400 or 450 stocks, one can make exit and remain invested in the partial quantity. Now, the reason here is that their edutech vertical is not working well in the favor of a company. And in fact, company has reduced its revenue guidance from 30 to 35% to 27 to 28%. So significant fall in the guidance which we have seen. I think when such kind of guidance tapering off comes off, definitely that is not paying well for the company's future stock performances also. So idea here is to exit partially from this counter, and one can make entry into the other large cap names like Infosys, and for that matter, in fact, mid cap name like Tech Mahindra is also looking good to us in the IT space. So idea here is to book partial loss and remain invested in the partial quantity. However, on the upside, we can see the target still 700 or 720, where one can have opportunity to exit fully in this counter.
Okay, sure. Thanks for that advice coming in. Partial exit is what Astha is suggesting. Maybe you could look at it and then look at some large cap names that is there. But Somil, your view coming in on Happiest Minds, because the stock in the last 6 months has seen almost a 12-13% correction. So what would your suggestion be for Happiest Minds? Similar to what Astha is saying, book your profits, partial profits, or would you say complete exit or hold?
I agree. I mean, this stock is not looking good. I would recommend total exit to it. Lower top, lower bottom on the higher time frame as well. The momentum indicators on the sell side, the averages trading below averages. It's not looking good at all. It's been a very long time that this stock has been in downtrend. Tech Mahindra is a good option to enter booking profits from this stock and enter into Tech Mahindra.
Okay, that's a word coming in from both our analysts. Maybe, book out some profits, partial profits, and maybe look at something else also is a better option. Let's move on to the next query. This one is coming in from Gurmeet Bavecha, who's writing to us from New Delhi. He's holding 300 shares of Ambuja Cements at a price of 525 rupees per share. Wants to know the view for a 1 year time period, medium term outlook, mainly a 1 to 2 year time period. And he also wants to know if he should continue to hold, sell, or maybe look to buy some more and average out Ambuja Cements. What's your view coming in for Ambuja Cements, Astha?
So I would recommend to hold this counter with the initial price target of somewhere around 520 to 25, which is the cost price also. Now, talking about this counter, results were ahead of the expectation, but there was an element of a higher other income and the other incentives that led to the positivity or a growth in the financials. But looking ahead also, I think this company has a capex and they are planning to increase their capacity from 97 MTPA to 118 MTPA. So I think this will work well in the favor of the company. And in fact, the company is also working on the cost optimization measures that will really help the company posting strong margins going ahead. So, I mean, on the basis of all these factors, we are recommending hold. Initial price target can be set at at around 515 to 525 odd levels.
Okay, and your view on Ambuja Cements, Somil?
I'm positive actually. It's been in a downtrend in the short term, in the medium term. However, the rally which we have seen from 2023 to last year, in within a year's time, it has gone from 320 to 700. So at the moment, the stock has retraced 61%, and this is the right time to actually enter. However, I'll just wait for a quick weekly positive close on the stock, and once we get a weekly positive close on the stock, I think we can enter the stock, and the targets on the upside would be around 520 and 560 levels in the short to medium term outlook.
Okay, thanks for that view on Ambuja Cement. Let's move on to the next query for today. We have the next query coming in from Narayan Reddy, writing to us from Warangal, who is saying he's holding 500 shares of Ola Electric. This is at a price of 74 rupees per share. Currently, the stock is trading at 60 rupees. Wants to know if he should continue to hold this or look to sell this one, and long-term view coming in on the stock as well. Astha, your view on Ola Electric surely has taken a beating, with the concerns around it in the recent times, and especially since its listing. So what are we watching out for there?
Yes, but I'm optimistic about the Gen 3 portfolio. So I think that can be one of the driver for this company. In fact, company has worked hard to reduce its turnaround time also. So I think that is also looking positive to us. Although we should not avoid that the fact that company has not posted very strong set of numbers, and there was a basis of that because of the strong marketing expenses. They have not shown very good numbers on the profitability front. But in the longer term, I think it's better to stay invested in this counter rather than booking losses at this point of the time. So hold is a strategy from our side for this counter. Initial price target which we are giving to this counter is at around 70 to 72 rupees.
Okay, and Somil, I know there's not much charts to read for this, but any view on Ola Electric that you have?
I think it's making lower top, low bottom. The momentum indicators on the sell side. It has made a small flag pattern, which is bearish for the stock. I think it will again make a new bottom. Probably 58, 57 levels are on the cards. You can keep a stop loss of around 62, and you can go short on the stock.
Okay, that's a view coming in from Somil, is there? Let's move on to the next query. Now we have the next query coming in from Amrita Nandini, who's writing to us from Bangalore. 40 shares of Keynes Technology she's holding at a price of 5,000 rupees per share. She wants to know if she should continue to hold this or look to sell this. What's your view coming in on this one, Astha? EMS players are surely doing well. We keep hearing the scope of growth for these companies. So what is your word? Should she continue to hold this?
So first of all, would like to give a disclaimer that we might have this stock in our portfolio because we run PMS, that is HAME PMS. So that can be a stock in our portfolios as well. Looking after this counter, I think it's better to hold this counter with a price target of 4,500 to 4,600. The reason being that their order book is very strong. They have seen around 50 to 60% jump in their order book that is now at around 60.5 billion. So that is a soothing factor for us. And in fact, their revenue and profitability will also improve going ahead because two of their verticals, that is industrial as well as automotive, has shown a strong performances. So all in all, it's a hold from our side. 4,600 is a price target which we would like to give to this company.
Okay. But that was the last query for today on Keynes Technology. So thank you so much, Astha, as well as Somil, for joining in with us on the show and giving us the queries-related answer and helping our viewers solve their doubts. But with that, we are absolutely out of time on this edition of Your Stocks on CNBC TV18. Remember, you can always write to us on the address that is flashing on the screens and email us your queries, and we will address them with our viewers. Don't go anywhere. Up next, we have Closing Well to take you through the last hour of trade, so stay tuned in.